What's up, gamers? How's it going? It's John. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at this modded arcade stick that's now working on my Odroid N2 Plus. Now, if you've seen my channel before, you know I'm a huge fan of the Odroid N2 Plus. It's a single board computer, very similar to, I guess, a Raspberry Pi, which a lot of people are familiar with. I prefer the Odroid over the Raspberry Pi, to be honest. And what's cool, the basis of this arcade stick is the AtGames Legends Pro controller, or control stick. I got it at Walmart. I got it on sale for $100 US, which is a pretty good deal. You can get it on Amazon, Walmart. I think normally it retails for $180 US. There is a mini version as well, like a miniature size that's smaller. It does come with only a single player version, and I believe that retails for $90 US. Okay, that in itself is worth picking up. There's a bunch of built-in games. There's an online service. You can play online. It's pretty cool. Play pinball. There's side buttons here. You can play pinball as well. So with help of my friend Kirk, he's got a great channel here on YouTube, Addict1, I'll put a link below. We purchased a new set of buttons, LED buttons, so now they actually light up, which is awesome. The AtGames version had, the buttons were not too bad, right? But they were concave, meaning they were they dipped in a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of that. These are not concave. I don't know what the opposite of concave is. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but non-concave, right? The joysticks are high quality arcade joysticks. There's two sets you can get, right? Two different versions of buttons and sets you can get. I went on Amazon. I got on Amazon. They retail anywhere. Either set retails anywhere from $40 to about $45 US, right? And the one set I ended up installing into this one is more the traditional spring-loaded buttons. If you hear it closely, you can hear it click. It's got the micro switch at the very bottom here, kind of larger. And then you got the other version, which is more of a digital setup here, and it's not really a spring-loaded, right? And this is more like what you find on the candy cabs. So it's kind of matter of preference. Both are LED, both light up. The one on my left here has the different, so this is coined, for example, right? But you have the different letters, which is awesome. So you can kind of see what buttons, even though it's on the board itself, you can see on the buttons themselves, right? A couple things I do want to mention. The rollerball itself is pretty high quality, right? It's not currently working with this, unfortunately, but Kirk and I are gonna work on it, and we're also gonna add a spinner, which is pretty cool. And they're gonna get the spinner to work as well. It's gonna be an option. We did replace a couple buttons, right? We replaced the home button. Home button now is a coin button. And we also added, there's a rewind button. We replaced that with a coin button. So now we have two setups. So you have the coin in player one, coin in player two. So it works perfect that way, right? A couple also things. These joysticks, if you keep turning them, they will come off. So if you take like a hot glue gun and you kind of put it on there, make sure they don't twist off. I have young kids that tend to like to mess with it. It's not a huge issue, but just be aware of that. There is an encoder that we bypassed. Now this is run off of batteries normally, but when you do plug it in through USB to the Odroid, it's powered through the system itself, which is pretty awesome. So you don't really have to use the battery anymore. We bypassed that encoder for that. So it's pretty awesome. And it plays really like playing like an arcade, and it's very lightweight, so it's not having a huge arcade main machine, for example, that's over 300 pounds and move around. This thing is very mobile. You can move it around your house, which is pretty awesome. So really for around a $200 investment with the buttons, with the actual base unit itself, you're looking at a pretty decent investment. And plus, of course, with the Odroid and all that, you're looking for another, maybe $100 or more. And you can have a really good time playing a bunch of different arcade games, video games, of course, console games, all that good stuff, okay? So we'll boot up the Odroid, show you kind of the menu. It is through the EmuELEC, which is an awesome EmuELEC. There is no driver. So you just basically plug in the USB to the EmuELEC, and it automatically detects it. You have to map it and all that good stuff, but it's pretty awesome that it detects that there's no driver to install or anything like that. Pretty easy setup. Really cool to have. So leave a comment below, guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll take a closer look at some games and the EmuELEC setup and all that. Thousands of games at the fingertips playing on arcade stick like this. All right, guys. Thank you for subscribing, guys, as always, and let's take a closer look. I love this build for EmuELEC. You got the emulators on the left, very easy to navigate. You can either scroll to the right or hit the button and do the side search there. Makes it really simple, and when you wait, it has a really cool intro with each emulator you load up. Here's one for Game Gear, which great handheld, by the way. A lot of great. But the Odroid N2 Plus can play anything from Dreamcast fairly well, arcade really well, Neo Geo, PlayStation 1 fairly well as well. There's really no lag with any of these. It's really a powerful single board computer. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, EmuELEC, the team at EmuELEC did a great job with this. So I just want to show you an example of how many different emulators are on here. It's pretty incredible. And everything's kind of grouped by makers. You have all the Nintendo games together. You have TurboGrafx 16, all the NEC, Sega, etc. Here's Super Nintendo. You get the box art. And a lot of these have the manuals. People actually have taken the time to scan manuals, which is pretty awesome. I'll show you what I mean. We'll go to N64, which plays great on the Odroid N2+. Cruisin'USA, one of the early releases for the system. Let's go to options, and we'll check out manual. So here's an example of scanning the manual. It's pretty awesome that people have taken the time to do that. So definitely preserving the games. I think that's always a great thing. I have music playing in the background on this, so I had to mute it due to copyrights. I don't want to play any music and get dinged for it, so that's why it's kind of silent here. But we'll go and load it. Really quick to load. And I got Retro Achievements loading up as well. Retro Achievements is a great website. You can actually, it's synced. It's on Wi-Fi. Got a Wi-Fi dongle, and there's certain games that are set up for Retro Achievements. So basically, it's every time I hit those achievements, it logs into the websites, it logs on, takes screenshots. Pretty cool. I remember the first experience playing Cruisin'USA in the arcade. It was a joint venture between Nintendo and Midway. And there's a button you can push where you can be like a school bus. I'm not quite sure what it was. I think it was a school bus and police car or something like that. But really no slowdown on this. This is a great port to the arcade. I got to figure out what button is gas here. There you go. That's the button. There's a button for gas. It's a really fun arcade racer. There was Cruisin' World, Cruisin' Exotica as well released. I remember when this first came out, this and Mortal Kombat, it was advertised as the Ultra 64 is what they were promoting for, which before they called it the N64 system. But, crazy controls in this game. There's no crash or anything like that. But yeah, it plays great using this arcade stick for sure. I wish I had a steering wheel, but I think racers definitely play better on it using a steering wheel, of course. But once we get the rollerball working and this roller here on the arcade, it definitely will even be that much better. One issue with the N64, and this is a issue with the system in general, was you had a lot of kind of cloudiness going on the background because it didn't quite load. Like if you play the arcade, you don't get that kind of things popping up in the background. The arcade definitely was much more advanced, but still, I think it was a decent port for the N64. Really fun racing game, I'd say. But you guys can definitely get the idea. So I appreciate you guys, as always. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for liking this video. Thanks for commenting as well. I definitely recommend picking up this arcade stick. I also recommend picking up the Odroid N2+. Definitely worth the investment when it comes to emulation. We'll see you guys soon. Take care. And before I let you go, actually, I just do want to say again, thank you to good friend Kirk, aka Cubert1. He's here on YouTube. I'll put a link below. Check him out, show some support, and I'll put a link to EmuELEC and how you can support those guys as well. All right, guys, take care. Have a great day. Game on. Bye.